Greetings, Earthlings. Thank you so much for watching Mindfully Fit on YouTube. My name is Troy Devlin, and I'm a men's health coach specializing in weight loss. I have an important message to bring you today, but before we get to that, I have a small ask. I ask that you smash that subscribe button on your screen there. It helps me out a lot. It costs you absolutely nothing, but it means the world to me. So, in today's video, I thought we could talk a little bit about excuses. We all have them, right? And if we pay attention to our thoughts, sometimes we notice that maybe we make excuses as opposed to doing the things that we know we should, the things that support us. And one of my passions is helping people lose weight. One of my passions is helping me lose weight, right? The times in my life when I've been overweight, and that life is just really not one that I recommend to anyone. I was like, man, I need to get out of this situation. So there's some things that I need to do, right? And those things oftentimes have to do with mindset, what you eat, and the amount and type of exercise that you do. And we all know that. And oftentimes we'll make excuses as to why we can't make these small changes that would really benefit our lives. And so when we examine this, if we step back and we just take a look at it, which is what I recommend everyone does, like I said, the mindful approach. And mindfulness, if I could sum that up for you, I would call mindfulness paying attention. And so we can choose to direct that attention to whatever it is that we're doing or thinking about, or we can direct our attention to our senses. We can direct our attention to our breath. We could direct our attention maybe even to, muscular contraction if we're lifting weights in the gym. But, for the purpose of this exercise, I would invite you to direct your attention to your thoughts and the story that you tell yourself as it pertains to, small changes that would benefit your life, but you don't make the changes because you tell yourself this, fill in the blank, whatever it is. We all do this, and it's completely normal because that's the ego, guys. I'm sure that you've heard of the ego before. It's a shadowy sort of figure. It doesn't have to be bad, right? Because it protects us. It's kind of like a suit of armor, or like a space suit, or like a scuba gear. It's something that we use to protect us when we go out into the world, because we're soft little marshmallows and the world is a tough place. So we use this ego to protect us, so our soft little marshmallow insides don't get damaged. But sometimes that armor doesn't serve us. Sometimes that armor can actually prevent new information from getting in, and sometimes that armor can prevent us from growing and changing. And one of the ways around that, one of the workarounds, is to just take a mindful approach. Really pay attention to your beliefs and the story that you tell yourself. And sometimes I'll find that I spot myself making an excuse for something, right? Like, oh, well, what? I don't want one of the ones I run into a lot is people will say, well, I don't want my blood sugar to get too low. And that's the reason why they're like over consuming food, to an unhealthy extent. And they're like, well, my doctor told me that I don't want my blood sugar to get too low. And that's just one. I'm sure that maybe think of some of your own excuses that you use. But that's the point of the video. Examine those excuses. Take a look at them, right? When you spot them, ask yourself this question. What's more important, your excuse or your goal? And really it comes down to that, because at the end of the day, you're the one that's in charge of you, and you're in charge of the decisions that you make, whatever the reason that may be. And you don't want to fall into the trap of making decisions in such a way that you are acting on your subconscious programming, and the subconscious programming does not benefit you. It's there, it's put in place to protect you, but whatever is going, there's a glitch in the system and it's actually not protecting you. And you can re-examine your situation by stepping back and taking a look at it. And anywhere that you find excuses, and I come across excuses as a coach all the time. They'll give me a food journal that they filled out for me, let's say, and I'll spot areas where they could use some improvements. Hey, this thing right here really doesn't support the goals that you told me about. If you cut out this thing, you'll make great progress. And the person will say, well, I need to have that thing in there because and people will make an excuse. And if you notice yourself doing that, I would ask you, or I would invite you to let go of the feeling that you need to defend your excuses. Excuses really don't help you, right? If there's something you could be doing better and you're not doing it because of this thing, is this thing really helping you or hurting you at the end of the day? That's what I would ask you. What's more important, your excuses or your goals? Don't fight for your excuses. Too many people have too many excuses, and they will fight, and they will come up with these convoluted stories in their head, and then when challenged, now they'll double down and they'll invest so much energy into defending and fighting for their excuses. And these people are defending and fighting for and clinging to just stay in the same stuck place. And they're, like all of us, the battle is in our minds, and it's difficult to see people in that situation. So, guys, if you can take a step back and you can look at your thoughts and the story that you're telling yourself, and if you can spot those excuses, then maybe instead of investing energy to defend the excuses, invest that energy in just taking a small step forward. Small incremental progress over time is how we reach our weight loss goals, guys. Don't start out too hard. Don't try to bite off more than you can chew. If you go too hard, too fast, too soon, guess what? The changes in your body aren't gonna catch up to the amount of effort that you're putting in. It's gonna get too hard. It's gonna be unhealthy. You're gonna hurt yourself at worst. And the most likely scenario that we go through all the time, that I've gone through over and over and over and over and over, is we quit. So the better way is to take small incremental steps forward. Sometimes we'll take a small step back, but just keep taking those small steps forward. And that's how we make progress, guys. That's how you can do it. I know you can do it. And you're free to let go of those excuses because they don't help you. And I'm sure you can spot them. Well, yep, that's an excuse. Don't let the ego step in and get you to fight those silly battles of defending your excuses. Let them go. Move on. Move forward. Guys, I thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, you got to hit that subscribe for me. And tune in for my next video when we're going to talk about some universal laws so that you can reduce friction and reduce resistance to achieving your weight loss goals. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.